Hello and welcome back to an impromptu episode of the Otakuology podcast. I am Otaku Mike, and with me as always is Jin, the Manga King Graves.
I haven't been called that in a long time.
And today we are talking about something that's kind of taken the manga collecting fandom by storm over the past, I don't know, 24 hours, maybe less than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But people seem to be really mad or upset. I don't really know, to be honest, because I'm kind of getting a little bit of a mixed vibe from this.
I mean, I think they're both mad and upset.
Maybe they're feeling all the emotions.
Yeah.
All of the emotions are coming to.
It's like one of those dolls, like, tell me where they touched you at, except it's like a rainbow. It's like, what emotion are you on right now? Please point to the color.
What emotion are you on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is weird. I feel like because we have talked about graded manga before, and this isn't going to be like one of our normal episodes. I feel like because we're just going to talk and discuss this little nugget of news that we have, which is apparently manga collectors are really mad at Logan Paul because Logan Paul has gotten into manga collecting.
Yeah.
That's kind of the big story. And I know we haven't talked a lot about manga on this podcast in quite some time, or anime to be exact. But there hasn't been anything that interests us, so we haven't talked about it.
Yeah, we've talked about it, damn it.
I mean, some stuff we've talked about, but some stuff we haven't. Like recently, we haven't really talked about any anime or manga topics. We haven't had a discussional episode in quite some time where we just talk about one particular topic.
That's true too.
You know, but I remember, I think it was sometime last year where we ended up talking about graded manga and how I think it was going to be like the bane of like the manga collector's existence, I would say.
Yes.
I remember I wasn't really for it. I don't remember what your view on it was.
I mean, it's all right. I mean, if people want stuff graded, they're going to get it graded, but you know, I hope it doesn't turn around and affect manga the way that we think it could or might.
That is true. And let's just talk about like what actually transpired. Which is Logan Paul apparently has gone in with his business partner, Jeremy. Jeremy is like a CEO of like some kind of company or something, a company called Jazzwares or something.
Yeah,
I think they make toys. I don't know exactly what they do.
I don't know either on that.
I'm not hip with it, but apparently
I'm not hip with it.
I'm not cool with it. Just like those people who told me that I need to get hip with the floppy manga the other day. Which,
oh my god,
that's a whole story into itself.
Yeah.
So apparently Logan Paul has gone into it with his business partner to start collecting manga, specifically graded manga, and he has basically like the Japanese equivalent to like what they were for Shonen Jump. He has it graded. He has specifically it is the first chapter of One Piece graded in a 9.0, which is apparently the second highest grade for that particular issue in the world. Now, when we say this exactly, it's like, you know, what do they call it? What's the book that they call where it's
like what do we have? What did we have here?
Yeah.
It's the Japanese equivalent of Shonen Jump.
Yeah, but what do they call it? I forget what the word is for it.
It's just a magazine, as far as I know.
Just a magazine. Yeah. So there's a bunch of chapters in it, and this is the first chapter for One Piece, and he also, which is the first canon appearance of Monkey D. Luffy, and that is apparently sold over 6 million copies. I don't know if that particular one has sold over 6 million copies or like the Tankobons. have sold over 6 million
Yeah.
copies.
Well, yeah, I don't know because it seems kind of irrelevant
Yeah,
for that too. I mean, it is a magazine, but like being this is going to make me sound really hypocritical. Being somebody that has all of the American Shonen Jump issues that have come out, they were never this much. Like even when I had to track down old ones that I didn't
yeah.
have, none of this stuff was ever this much.
To be
Um,
fair, it didn't run as long as it did in Japan.
well, yes and no. I mean, it ran from like 2021 or 2001 up to I think 2014.
But Shonen Jump has like run from since like the 60s or the 70s.
I know we're just talking about the magazine though.
Yeah. I'm talking about the magazine as well. Like,
Oh well, then I don't know.
yeah, in Japan, like it's been going on for decades.
Because then one of the other things that they did are they did collectors share tryout manga tankobons, which
Yeah.
was you would get one that was like the same size as a tankobon, and on the cover you would have a bunch of different art from the different styles, and they would give you maybe like 2 chapters of each uh, manga that they were going to have kind of in the magazine at that time.
Yeah.
It's kind of a really weird way, and it reminds me more of a free comic book day where you'd get something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, those were kind of irrelevant. I
You
don't,
could you could say it's kind of like getting all the issues for that month in one big book.
right.
That's
Yeah.
what this basically is. You get one chapter, an issue, whatever it is. And he also got something else. He also got the first chapter of Dragon Ball, the first appearance of Dragon Ball, which is the first appearance of Goku and Bulma, which is a 9.2. And apparently he paid like $500,000 for this.
Yeah. See, I just don't see any of the things being that much.
I don't either, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. So I've seen um I watched I think it was that the Anime Man the other day.
Yeah.
And he actually did like a thing on one of his videos where he went to go look for like the Japanese Shonen Jump in Japan. And he
Yeah.
was like, okay, let me find like the first like Yu Yu Hakusho and whatever, the first whatever appearance or whatever. And they had them over there like readily available in like these manga shops. They
Yeah.
were like vacuum sealed to make sure they're like in like the best condition they can. And each of them had like various prices on them.
Yeah.
And they had stuff stretching back all the way to like the first issue of Shonen Jump, which was a pretty cool video. And in
Yeah.
that, they actually did show like the first One Piece, the first Dragon Ball, and those were actually pretty high up there when it came to like numerical value of a book.
Yeah.
Which it's interesting to see how manga collecting has evolved over the years,
Yeah.
and it seems like it's evolving in a very interesting way in the fact that um it's people seem to one not want Logan Paul to get into the collecting for manga because he got into Pokemon and it drove prices through the roof.
Yeah.
Now, I will say he is focused on, it seems like, a very, very niche side of the manga collecting community. Like, he doesn't
Y-
seem to be going after like tankubons at the moment.
Yeah.
He's just going after those magazine format for manga. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's interesting that he's going for that because I've seen some people online who there's this old guy and he's like, oh, I got the first appearance of Berserk or whatever it was. He's this guy on Instagram and he does like more historical like videos. You probably have seen
Yeah.
him before.
Probably.
Yeah, he does
Which
more
which I
historical
mean to
videos.
me it's really funny how some of that stuff happened because back in the day, especially in Japan, if anybody knows about it, whenever you see in a manga or an anime where they're carrying trash out, you always see the trash bag and then you see
Yeah,
a bag that's like squared.
yeah,
usually that is all of your manga and things like that that are those monthly magazines that they actually take and they burn, or they go in and they actually kind of like redo the paper and stuff.
Yeah, they never
Um,
really saved them.
yeah. So it's really crazy. Like, yeah, there are these people that did like them and have saved them and whatnot, but it's just kind of crazy in that aspect, especially if you think about how uh, even ones that aren't exactly mint condition, like
Yeah.
resale value, if you could do that, what it would be like. I mean, I think the last time one of the white whales in my collection, and I'm going to call it that because a lot of people
The white
s-
whale.
still tell me, they're like, "Oh my god, you have this?"
It's the manga
Um,
dick.
yeah, basically, Ultimate
Release
Muscle. I mean,
release
I
that
have
manga dick.
Shit, kerplunk.
Kerplunk.
Yeah, I mean, I have like volumes 1 through 29, all of that, like pretty good condition. They're wrapped, everything else. The last time that I was able to check anything on that, it was like over $5,000.
Yeah.
Mind you, that was years ago when I checked, but
To be fair though, that seems to hold its ultimate muscle seems to hold its value because it's never been reprinted.
right,
Like
right,
ever.
yeah.
And now we don't know how many volumes of manga necessarily get printed. I saw something where more people have gone on eBay after this has come up to where we've found more like different versions or different other people have come up and put their collections on eBay for like the first appearance of One Piece, the first appearance of Dragon Ball, stuff like that. So we don't know exactly how rare these are.
Right.
Like with American comic books, we can tell exactly how rare something is by like the print run and stuff like that, or like the scarcity. Like with a lot of the Golden Age stuff, like there isn't a lot of that around because a lot of it was destroyed. You know,
This is true. This is
a,
true.
a lot of it was destroyed, and I feel like the manga collecting space is kind of going through a weird renaissance. Like the manga boom has hit. I would say over the past couple of years, COVID stuff like that, the manga boom has hit, and manga is everywhere now. It's
I agree with that. I mean, and I would say honestly, more so, it's because of the anime.
Yeah,
Anime is what boomed a lot of things because of COVID and whatnot. And we do have stuff, but that's where, if there's not an anime for it, a lot of people don't have some of these other manga as like a spot that they dip their toes into
yeah,
first. Um, and we do have a lot of different reprintings, and I think a good chunk of things that you can kind of tell on that is, can you find it in stock at your local Barnes and Noble, or can you find it in stock
Amazon.
at Amazon, or, well, not Amazon, because Amazon usually you can find everything there.
Yeah,
But
but
like
but sometimes
Barnes and
sometimes
Noble,
sometimes you can't.
yeah,
Sometimes you can't.
and
So
that's usually ones that aren't printed again, and that's where you go through like Mercari or eBay or somewhere else like that. You
yeah,
know,
and it's weird how like I've seen this because I've kind of did like a little deep dive over the past couple of weeks of getting seeing when what manga collectors are after, and people are really going for like first printing runs. Like it's almost like the fucking a comic book. I mean, a manga is a
yeah,
comic book. Let's just get that out of the way. A manga is a comic book. Regardless of what you think, it's a comic book. It's a comic book, but to me, it has not been in the zeitgeist of, say, like the Western audience as long as, comic collecting has. Because with comic collecting, you know, we had the thing of like, it wasn't just reading, we were collecting and we were like taking care of these books and stuff like that, bagging and boarding and stuff. And it's interesting to see that manga collecting has gone the same way, where people are bagging their manga, grading their manga, looking for that first printing. But here's the thing, like with the first printing of a manga, there isn't necessarily like a big like variant for a manga. a first printing can look exactly the same as like a sixth or fifth printing. You
Yeah.
know, slightly there can be little variations, like a logo variant, or like with One Piece, you always had like the gold foil logos and stuff like that. But other than the whole like first printing
See,
at the beginning and then the inside of the book, there's nothing different about it.
in most of those, I don't really. I think those are variant printings, but those aren't exactly other later printings. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Um, those are just variant printings because some people, yes, do have ones that are like that, and some people don't have anything that's like that.
yeah. But I mean,
Some of them
if you
have the
look at
3-in-1s. Some of them have the box set editions.
yeah, but if you look inside like a regular volume of manga, it'll say first printing, sixth printing, fifth printing, fourth printing. If it gets to that point, it'll
Yeah,
say that. But for some reason, people are like, "Oh my god, this is the first printing of American Naruto." Okay, why is that valuable in the manga collector's eyes?
right.
There's nothing different from a first printing to like, I don't know, the 10th printing of Naruto.
Yeah,
There
and
really
I'm
isn't.
and they're not.
Like they don't have
They're
like the cover variations.
Yeah, they're not the same in that the only one that I can fully argue in this sense that did that and went through multiple printings of different things and has different variations like extremely is Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like because at one point you used to be able to get them where the covers on the spines, if you put them all together, it had a big mural that all the way went from volume one all the way down the spines to the last volume that had come out that had Shinron and then all the characters consecutively running along the side of Shinron as you went down the comic or through the comic line. That's really the only big one that I know that had a big variation printing, unless we're talking about like a Visbig or you know a 3-in-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are again, those are just different. Like we can say, yeah, this is a first printing, and get behind like, yeah, this is a first printing, and this is a first printing with gold foil, and this is manga seems to do that more than comics actually do,
No.
where they have ones that aren't exactly the same.
No. So comics have been known for recently to have variant covers. And variant covers for a comic book is a little different.
Well, that's what I
So,
meant. I meant they
yeah.
had a regular comic has more
Yeah,
variant covers than a
yeah, it has
manga.
more. Yeah. And they honestly promote like artificial scarcity, to be honest. So
Yeah,
you can have like a 1 in 25, a 1 in 50, a 1 in 100, a 1 in 2000, stuff like that. So like they have this like artificial scarcity where they will print a certain amount of issues with a special cover, and it makes it worth something because you can't get a hold of it. You
yeah,
can't get a hold of it, but you can get a hold of a manga. All the mangas usually have all the same cover. There's that's what I'm trying to say is there's nothing different about a manga except for the fact that it has like a first printing in the paper.
right.
That's about it. To me, that's honestly worthless, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I agree. Honestly, for me, because I did collect ones that were like this, or people would send them to me, ones that I think are more valuable, which is going to be funny because nobody else is probably going to think that, is anything that has an imperfection to it.
Oh,
Those are the ones that I was getting a lot of. So I have like different ones of Zatch Bell, different ones of Get Backers. I think all the way up until like Kakigurui, the gambling one.
yeah.
Um, different people. Oh, the hide and closer one. It would be the pages were misaligned. Some of the pages are spread throughout the book. for like one chapter. Some of them were printed upside down. Some of them, whenever the pages just were stuck in there, they're upside down and backwards. I mean, there are a chunk of different ones that are like that, or ones that, hey, you got to the end and the ink was running real low, and so it almost looks like there's nothing on the paper, but you hold it up in the light and you can read
Yeah.
what the manga says.
There's also go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, well, and then the last one is like if they filled the ink back up and it had spilled, and now
Yeah.
right in the middle of your page you have this big ink blot.
Yeah, you have like it's like a defective
Yeah,
printing basically.
yeah, yeah,
That's the thing in Pokemon cards as well. Like they do that. People will do that with like a defective Pokemon card, and sometimes they go for quite a bit.
yeah, yeah.
But like I think one of the only other things, it's an unintentional variant, but one of the issues of Ancient Magus Bride at
Yeah.
the printing of it, like I think it was the first printing, like there was no color on the cover, so it was like a black and white cover. But that's because
Oh
like
yeah,
the printer messed up.
yeah, yeah.
But I really want to get back to like why people are so mad about this. Like
Yeah.
why are people so mad at Logan Paul for getting into manga? People are saying he's a fake fan. He's cosplaying as a manga fan. Like he's
Uh,
not a real fan,
I mean, I could
apparently.
see that.
You know, and I think people are really worried that they're gonna their fandom or their hobby is gonna end up like Pokemon, and that could be a very scary thing. Because that Pokemon right now is hard to get a hold of. It's expensive to be a Pokemon fan when
Yeah.
it comes to the cards and stuff like that, because he got into it, he boosted it, and honestly, like I could see people being like, "Hey, oh, you got manga? Oh man, manga's expensive.
Yeah.
Manga's expensive. We already had people trying to flip manga in like, what do you like back in COVID times and stuff like that, the
That's
manga
true.
scarcity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I could see normal people, just because it kind of happens in comic books too. Like I see people be like, yeah, these comics are worth a lot. In reality, they're not worth a lot.
Right.
They're dollar comics, but you think they're worth like $500.
They're just boosted because of things like that, which
Yeah.
you and I talked about honestly on our last comic thing where we were talking about Dork and we talked about White Sky, about how they're basically on their third or fourth printing because they keep getting sold out because
Yeah.
people are enjoying it. And that's understandable, but are we having any of those people that are buying, 16, 20 copies to skyrocket the price on that?
That's true. We don't know. And it's weird because I don't feel like manga has gotten to the place of comic books.
Yeah.
To me personally, I don't find manga to be expensive. The only time I feel like manga is expensive is when it goes out of print.
Yeah.
It goes out of print and you cannot find it.
Yeah. Well, and one of the other things that really throws me off out of this is, like, I know we have like a big grading system of different things.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh because in America, if you had anything that was graded that was a Japanese variant, you're not going to pay anywhere near that. You would pay more to have it graded than you would have to buy it. So the fact of, I think part of this is a scandal where it was like, hey man, let me buy this graded variant off of you that is a Japanese thing, I think really is just a cash cow move for people. And that is something that's going to make people freak out. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. If we got one and it was same comic, whatever it is, printed in, German, it's not valued the same amount here.
No, I don't think it is.
You don't have the same amount if it's in a place where the language is. So again, saying, hey, I spent $500,000 on these two books, it may be that way in Japan, and maybe
Yeah.
you paid 50,000 yen for it. I don't see you being able to bring that much over here with those two graded books and say, yeah, this is what it is, unless you're to put the money down as this is what I'm valuing it at.
No, and I could see it like that. Like he is valuing it at that,
Yeah,
and he's kind of taking a gamble at the fact that maybe in the future it will be worth, $500,000.
I don't think it'll hold.
I don't think it'll hold either,
I think
just
I think this would be like you or I getting the first printing of Dork, right?
yeah, I have the first printing a dork.
Yeah, and you say, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to sell this to you secretly, but we're going to take pictures of it and everything, and you sell it to me for $500."
Yeah.
Now that basically turns around and makes everybody else think, "Oh my god, a first printing of Dork sold for $500. I should be able to sell it for a little less than that, $500. Something even more."
Yeah.
And if there's other ones, if you're buying up the market, then yes, there's other things. So could these ones be rare? Most
I think
definitely.
I think
They
they
could be
could be
rare for being old enough,
for
but the
being
amount put up for them, I think, is stupid.
stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid because, one, like these things were basically almost made out of newspaper.
Yeah,
They weren't like made to really truly last.
right.
And to get like a 9.2 and a 9.0, like it is impressive, I would say. It is very, very impressive.
I'm also going to tell you that I think that part of that shit is baloney.
Yeah.
Because between you and I, how many manga do you and I have had, wrapped or otherwise, that even though they are in plastic and whatnot, or borderline slab, that have still went through a yellowing process?
It's true because the paper. You can't stop a yellowing
Things that are
process.
older than what you and I have, even after the process kind of
Yeah.
like changed a little bit, I don't see it not being yellow. And a yellowing process, I don't see somebody getting a 9 point anything on.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
anything is processed that way.
You're saying it possibly like it's a publicity stunt? Like
Oh yeah,
these are given these like we don't know if they like bought these from a collector or had them graded themselves. I'm not 100% sure on that. You
yeah.
know, but
Or did you grease somebody's palms
like
before doing this?
it is very hard to get like a perfect fucking 10
Yeah,
for a book.
yeah, yeah,
And like I feel like I hate to say it, but I feel like manga collecting is a fad and the bubble is going to fucking burst.
yeah.
If you don't remember a couple years ago, we had VHS grading
Yes,
where VHS was all the hot shit, and
yeah,
people are
yeah,
like, "Oh, I got this sealed copy of I don't know, Jurassic Park." I don't know. I just threw that out there. you know, or like
yeah.
I found this copy of Home Alone or something, and I paid like this much for it.
Yes,
Like people were like, "Oh, like this is like the next big thing. We're gonna be making money off this." And some VHSs can be like worth something. Some movies that didn't get a DVD treatment or a Blu-ray treatment and only stayed on VHS. I could see those possibly being rare. You
yeah,
know, we had the big video game bust over COVID for like grading and stuff. Like people were like spending buku's amount of money on like sealed Super Mario Brothers,
yes.
and we found out there are a ton of sealed Super Mario Brothers.
Right.
Like, and people are paying all this money and like trying to get all this money for like their sealed, complete in box graded games. And yes, there still is a market for that, but the market has dwindled over the past couple of years. People
Yes,
really want like a sealed in box collector is few and far between, I feel like, and most people just want to play the games.
I agree.
Most people just want to read the comic book. Most people just want to read the manga. Like there is a subsect of people who like graded things. I have some graded things in my collection. Do I personally like have buyer's remorse? Yes, I do.
Do I possibly have those? I totally thought you were going to be like, no, I don't. And then, yes, I do.
Yes, I do. And there's some stuff that I've gotten from people like, here, you want this graded book? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Like I've won off of like YouTube channels,
Yeah,
And those
Yeah.
ones that I will keep with me because I was like, these are amazing, you know, like. But like ones that I personally bought, like I spent like $70 on a 9.0 first issue for Static.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I paid a little too much for that.
Well, probably.
I got like the first appearance, not the first appearance. What was it? I have it
But
right. I
the
have it
other
right
thing
here.
is,
When Wolverine lost his
you're
adamantium.
you're talking about a solo comic,
Yeah,
not a magazine with multiple fucking things in it.
yeah.
I mean, this is almost like saying, what is it that you were telling me? If it's a printing that has everything in it, it's called a what?
Uh
Like if I have a book that has like multiple issues in it, it's
oh,
called
like a trade paperback.
yeah. So you have a trade paperback.
Yeah.
That's a little different. That's not good. That's I don't think a lot of trade paperbacks are going to be worth the same amount as a solo issue.
The only way they would be is if they went out of print.
Um,
Then you have
but
your omnibuses, your compendiums.
if
You
we
know.
ever had like Stranger Things, let's say that
Yeah.
we had Stranger Things and we had it with a complete trade paperback of um, what would it be like um, Darkest Night.
Yeah.
That's not gonna hold its value.
No.
Like you have two different completely separate things that are going. So again, to have a magazine, even if you say this is the first appearance of XYZ and shit like that, I don't believe it. I do not believe that you are going to sit there and pay that much unless you're trying to say, yes, I'm paying this to value it at that because you paid that much to it.
I mean, something is only worth its value in what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Exactly. Exactly. So I don't really know about the grading thing. I will say wholeheartedly, I feel like that's some kind of a weird ruse. Either somebody got their hands greased or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't see you getting those graded very high, especially like we talked about yellowing process, everything else. Like nobody really thought that much about part of these things back in that time.
No, no. They were
Um,
just throwaway things.
yeah. Um, I mean, hell, even hikikomoris that have them on their shelves, yes, they did have them on their shelves, and they were all pressed in nice and thick and lined up with each other and everything else. And
Yeah, but you'll get shelfware.
you didn't have things like that. Well, and even if they read it and then put it on the shelf, I mean,
Yeah.
like the thing is no matter what, most manga, even if you take care of it stupendously, it's still going to have some problems.
No, no, most definitely. Most
And
definitely.
and so I don't see that high of a grade happening, and I don't see unless it is just valued at to be valued at. Like I used the example earlier, you're going to sell me a copy of Dork and say, "Hey, I'm charging you $500." So now every other episode of Dork should be worth somewhere in $500. I
Yeah.
don't I don't see this being an actual thing.
Yeah. No, I don't and I think people want it to be a thing. People with money want it to be a thing.
Yeah, they want it to be the next Bitcoin.
Yeah. And Beckett wants it to be a thing because they still talk about their manga grading service. You know, and I went online and I looked for like graded manga.
Yeah,
And it's online. You can buy it. And people are selling it right now. And like none of it, all of it was from Japan, which
yeah,
was weird that I looked at. I didn't really see any like English
yeah.
like
Well, you know why
volumes.
most of them are from Japan?
Yeah, because you got like the
Because in
first printing
because in Japan you can buy whatever manga that you're going to slab or whatever
for cheap.
for like 3 cents of the or $3, and then basically turn around because they're not even valued in Japan that much
They're not.
unless you're somebody that wants to push
collect it.
yourself to be that much.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, like you can buy X-rated comics or manga over there for more than what most graded things that you could get over there are. For
Yeah.
most manga that you can buy over there, they're
I
not very expensive. And being somebody, again, you can say the word if you want, slam the manga dick. Um, Somebody that has a collection that is as big as mine, living in Japan, can get a collection as big as mine probably within a few years, compared to somebody in America that are getting English ones priced at what they're currently valued at, that are 3 times the price of those.
yeah.
I mean, there's got to be something up, and that's again, while most of these ones people are going, oh, they're graded. Not a lot of people are
I
gonna sit there and do it for that
I
much.
feel like the framework for manga grading slash like what a manga is worth is very much in its infancy. Like it doesn't have that like structure or foundation of saying like, oh, this volume is worth this much.
Yeah,
You know, like I don't feel like it has that, because you don't have like the price charting really, or like the years and years and years of like prices fluctuating and going up and down and stuff like that. Like I feel like people are just it's the Wild West and people are just saying something is worth something to have it be worth that much.
right.
And it doesn't I don't feel like it works with like that because with comic books you have like the census and stuff and you have like, oh, there's so many graded 9.8s of a particular comic or something like that. The
Right.
comic book, we can look at it, you can tell what grade it is by the condition of it, and you can go off of that value. With a
Right.
manga, I feel like it's completely different,
I agree.
and people are going off of the scarcity of the item rather than like the condition, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's a weird like reverse effect, and it's I don't know, like it's something that I'm not really vibing with. I mean, I have bought in like older manga and stuff, and I've seen the market fluctuate and whatnot, and like I don't feel like it's ever going to be like comics are,
Yeah.
to be honest.
No, and I agree with you. I mean, I've bought manga that was never reprinted or whatever. That a volume cost me $70.
Yeah,
I have gotten some like that, but I've also gotten ones that everybody else were like, that one volume on eBay for that one is $115, and
or
then you
what
go
would,
to Macari and you find it in
yeah,
somebody's collection that they're selling, and you go, hey, I need this volume and this volume. Would it be okay if you sold those to me for $35 a piece when you have them for 90?
yeah.
Most of the time people will go yes, because they want to get rid of those collections.
I feel like most people go off of eBay as like the the scripture of like manga god or something when it comes to like what a manga is worth.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I feel
I
like
agree.
people are just making shit up, to be honest. And like I feel like is Logan Paul getting into manga the best thing ever? Not necessarily. But I feel like he's in a different section of the manga collecting, and most people aren't in that section.
Well, and I also want to say, knowing somewhat about Logan Paul and like what else he's actually done and whatnot, I could definitely see him paying over the price for a thing just to make a Instagram post about it, or a
Yes.
Twitter post, just so
Yes.
people are like, "Oh my god,
Like when he bought those
what?"
Pokemon cards and he found out they were all fake.
Yeah, something like that.
He bought like the pack of the box of Gen 1 Pokemon
Yeah,
and he got like scammed out of it or something. Yeah,
yeah,
I could see him doing that. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, and we also don't know, because you didn't see all that transaction, you didn't
No.
see all the other stuff. You don't know that, and based off of some of the things for entertainment, people are looking at that stuff and going, "Oh my god, this has to be real." sometimes people like to lie to you, and I heavily lean on that side of things. That if it's going to make me a buck to lie to you or whatever with a YouTube video or something like that, that's probably what it's going to be.
I mean, as we've learned from MTV Cribs, you can never really trust anything because most of those houses weren't even the celebrities' houses.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
and
don't know how much stock I can put into this. Logan Paul is a manga collector, and this manga is actually worth over $500,000.
and as we know, some dumbass people, uh, you can sell your bathwater for I don't know, hundreds of dollars if you really really think about it, because some people are just that stupid.
I mean, why don't we get our final thoughts out there? What are your final thoughts on this?
Oh man, this is just a stupid topic. Like
It is stupid.
we are, and I will say this. I said, we're kind of covering this topic, yeah, because we'll probably get some clicks off of it because of how absurd this is.
It's pretty absurd, and I think like Joey the Anime Man kind of said it best. Like he's kind of a tourist almost, you know?
Yeah,
Like he's not a fan, and he only seems to want to be into something to like make a fucking buck off of it.
yeah,
Like, and that's what I think is happening, to be honest. I think he will eventually move on to something else. Maybe baseball cards. I don't know.
well, and again, who's to say? What was the other person that was on the thing?
Oh, I forget what the fuck his name was.
The other guy. Who's to say that he didn't have these things graded, buy them, everything else, cost him $20, and then goes, "Hey Logan, if you want to buy these off of me for this much, I think we could make a little more money by people believing that.
Yeah,
Here's the receipt."
I think they're inflating the market. I would say,
Yeah,
and inflating hype for this, and I think it's honestly will possibly die down. I don't know how fast, but I think it will. I think people will look at this and not want to spend the exorbitant amount of money that is being tossed around.
right.
From what I know, from what I know, and manga people that I've hung out with, most of them won't even pay full price for a fucking tankobon.
This is true. This is
So,
true.
what makes you think they're going to throw $500,000 at something, or
Well,
even $1,000 at a volume of
well, and
manga?
I would really like to almost have future side in this, because after seeing a post or something like that, how many people will actually buy any of the manga instead of just turning around like the common problem that we always bring up,
Oh,
and just
piracy.
pirate it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like they want this to be like the comic collecting, and I feel like it's a little too early for it to have the nuance or like the prestige of a comic book,
yeah,
or the value of a specific comic book, you know, and like it I feel like big money is being thrown around when big money is not warranted.
yeah. Well, and doesn't Logan Paul have like a specific superhero that they really like?
I don't know.
Why not spend your 500,000 on, I don't know, one of the first runs that signed and everything of a Spider-Man comic?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not going to cost you that much still, but why not go ahead and get that for a character that you actually like? And I'm not saying that he doesn't like Luffy or he doesn't like Goku, but like, you could actually have something that your money has value on because of that over years of grading and things like that, and the hands that it has changed, and just a much bigger scale than I got these cheap things and I overinflated the price on them.
Yeah, I think people are warranted to be kind of leery about the future of manga collecting,
Yeah,
but I don't feel like it's going to be like that. Like this is going to be hot one minute and I think it's going to be down. Like the only people who are going to be spending that kind of money are the rich people and or people who really really fucking want it. and I don't think it's gonna be a thing,
Yeah,
to be honest.
I agree.
But yeah, I think I'm done with this topic. I'm done with it.
Put it in the vault so we never have to bring it up
I'm a
again.
fucking old yeller at just like dub versus subs.
Oh my gosh, do it.
But yeah, thanks for sticking around. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yep. See you
Fuck,
next Tuesday.
fucking Logan Paul.